To keep the 2000s vibes going, we're going to do a little briefing here at the CRT Rear Pro. So, our first question is to GPU or not to GPU. I thought long and hard about who the Athlon 3000G is for. I spoke to our Patreons about it, and we all sort of agreed that if you're in the market for a 3000G, that you're probably more interested in its abilities as an APU rather than just as a CPU. What makes the 3000G so special is that it is a potent combo at the right price. And comments in our last episode really spoke to that. So in this video, we're going to mainly focus on just overclocking the CPU and the GPU, and we're not going to bring a GPU, an external one at least, into the picture here, because as I said, if you have the money for a cheap CPU and a cheap GPU, then there are better options than the 3000G out there, because where this chip really shines is its price point. It's this effective entry-level chip, and as you'll soon see, when it's overclocked, it really does play a lot of games. The short version: overclocking is a long journey, and if you want to see the full journey of all the steps I went through overclocking, then for $1 a month you can subscribe to the Patreon. Last thing, the setup. For those of you who want to know the specs, here's what we used on our overclocking journey.
This is a new section I want to try out called the Greenmarks Summary, where I take a moment to highlight some things from the benchmarks. Forza Horizon. This game runs surprisingly well. It's playable on both stock and overclocked configurations. But there's a catch. The stock chip shows plenty of stutter. Now, while overclocking doesn't completely eliminate the stutter, it's almost gone, and the difference is pretty palpable. One of the exciting things about overclocking and tinkering with low-end hardware is that an extra 10 frames per second can make a big difference. With the stock setup, it's tough to call it playable, even for someone like me who's used to these kinds of frame rates. But with the overclock, we're hovering around 30 frames, and that means Marvel Rivals becomes pretty darn playable. Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 are two incredibly well optimized games. Running on Vulkan, they're very friendly to low-end graphics chips, so with both stock and overclock configurations, I wanted to try a few resolutions and compare them, just out of curiosity. Minecraft Bedrock Edition is a pretty interesting game because it doesn't let you toggle VSync. It automatically switches it on. The game locks the frame rate at 30 or 60 FPS, and sometimes it dips, and then once it dips it will go and lock itself to 30. It will stay at 30 until the scene becomes less demanding. What's interesting is that when overclocked, we rarely saw it hard locked to 30. It didn't always stay at a consistent 60, as I said, it drops occasionally, but it rarely dropped down to its 30 FPS hard lock, which happened quite often on the stock Athlon. This affects the playability of the game massively. You can really feel it when it switches down. So if you have a 3000G and you like Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it's definitely worth overclocking because the experience is so much better. Tinkering with these kinds of chips is incredibly rewarding. While high-end systems have their merits, I don't find much satisfaction or interest in overclocking to go from 150 to 200 frames. But with low-end components, you really feel the difference when you go from 20 to 30 frames with an overclock. You feel like you've unlocked some sort of secret dungeon of performance. In game after game, that's the difference overclocking made on the 3000G. This processor is already a low-end PC gaming hero, offering a truly affordable entry point to PC gaming for so many people. With a little overclocking and a willingness to turn the settings down, I think you'll be truly blown away by how many games the 3000G can play for the price. As I said in my last video, the Athlon 3000G is a dying breed. There aren't many chips out there like this that offer both reasonable graphics and a cheap CPU in a cost-effective package. It's a little outdated now, and there are better options, but I can't help but admire the 3000G. And I can't help but wish AMD would give us another low-end chip like this, maybe with a few more cores and with the new generation of Radeon iGPUs. But until that day comes, we have the 3000G, and it's amazed me by how much it offered back then and how much it still offers today for the price. If you like tinkering, I'd encourage you to pick one up. You'll be hard pressed to push it beyond 4 GHz without really pumping the voltage. But it's a fun chip to tinker with. Anyway, that's it for tonight's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Here to entertain you, so let's try it. If the Athlon blows up, I may have to create a Kickstarter. Let's. Ah, yeah. Look at that. I have not managed to stabilize it at 4.2. I haven't been able to do it. This is running on an APU.
Told me somebody ate every dessert in the house.